up. Another friend of my parents.
You've always been so fond of your mother.
Do you practice being creepy?
Hello guys, and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring MK11 Shang Tsung. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put MK11 Shang Tsung to the test. MK11 Shang Tsung, or as I love calling him, Samsung, was released on the 18th of December 2020, and ever since then, by the time I'm recording this video, which is in March 2022, he was available in only one pack once. I repeat, only one pack for souls once. So let's find out whether he's worth. His attack is 52,164, which is the 13th highest in the game. The hit points, they are 96,768, the 17th highest in the game. The toughness is 52,920, which is the 8th highest in MK Mobile. And the recovery is 49,140, the 13th highest in the game. The power generation is 130%. So for his stats, MK11 Shang Tsung is going to get the impressive 24.3 out of 28 possible points. Alright guys, we will start with Shang Tsung Special 1, and before we go any further I want to make an important disclaimer. You know that Shang Tsung can take the form of almost any character in the game, so when I'm talking about his special abilities being unblockable, or when I'm talking about the buffs or debuffs, I'll be giving some extra points. For instance, even if his Special 1 isn't unblockable, I will give some points because it might get unblockable depending on the shape he gets. Anyways, without any further ado, let's take a closer look at his Special 1 in his Shang Tsung form. Basically, it can be completely blocked by the enemy. It doesn't have any buff or debuff, unfortunately, even though it's called Crushing Flames. It can be cast from distance, by the way, it follows perfectly after both of his combo enders. It is lethal, and it consists of 3 mini hits. The mini game is the filler. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the ability is 20,650, which is the 34th highest in the game. The maximum damage is 41,210, the 32nd highest in MK Mobile. Once again, the ability can be completely blocked by the enemy, but it gets some points here anyways. It doesn't have any buff or debuff. It can be cast from distance without any issues whatsoever. It is lethal, it consists of 3 mini hits, and it has the filler as mini game. So, for his Special 1, MK11 Shang Tsung is going to get 8 points out of 13 possible. So, if I have to summarize, his Special 1 will connect always after each of the combo enders, which is great, and considering his passive he is going to have power all the time in order to perform it. However, the big drawback here is the low damage. Special 2 of Shang Tsung, guys, is called Soul Steal, and here it is what you need to know about it. It is completely unblockable, and that is awesome. It has Vampirism as debuff, plus any other debuff it can get depending on the form Shang Tsung is in. Currently, the special attack cannot be cast from distance if he is in his form, but once again, since he can take any other form of any other character, we'll be giving some points there. It is lethal, it consists of 2 mini hits, and it has the horizontal or vertical swipe as mini game. Unfortunately, Special 2 of Shang Tsung will fail after the combo ender that throws the enemy away from Shang Tsung, so you have to keep that in mind. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 57,236, which is the 19th highest in the game. The maximum damage is 103,026, the 31st highest in the game, which is kind of okay considering the fact that this ability is completely unblockable. Once again, the special attack has Vampirism as debuff. It kind of can be cast from distance, but not in this form. It is lethal, it consists of 2 mini hits, and it has the horizontal or vertical swipe as mini game. So for his Special 2, MK11 Shang Tsung is going to get 15.4 out of 19 possible points. The fatal blow of Shang Tsung, guys, is called Shapeshifter Barrage, and it is awesome. Basically, Shang Tsung takes the form of Sub-Zero, Noob Saibot, and Scorpion, and unleashes hell on his enemies. What you need to know about this fatal blow is that it can be cast from distance, And basically doesn't have any buff or debuff, but we're going to get some points here because of the fact that this X-ray can be any character's X-ray. When it comes to damage, the damage of the ability is 160,263, which is the 7th highest in the game. Once again, the X-ray doesn't have any buff or debuff, but it gets some points anyway, and it can be cast from distance. So for his 3rd special attack, Shang Tsung is going to get 3.5 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attacks adds up to 26.9 out of 36 possible. The basic attacks of Shang Tsung are not great, but not terrible at the same time. It is a good thing that he pushes enemies away if they're blocking, that is always useful. Also, his special 1 follows both of his combo enders. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for his special 2, but nobody is perfect. Now, the question whether he should be played with or without Block Breaker, it is a really difficult question. I'm not saying that he cannot do without Block Breaker, but if you're planning to use him as your main fighter, then I would say, just to be on the safe side, get him a Block Breaker. If you don't want to do that, then you have to have a good plan on how to keep him alive. Even though he generates tons of power, he is extremely squishy, he can be caught off guard and destroyed, so you have to keep that in mind. All we know, his basic attacks are pretty cool, and we shouldn't forget that he can transform in any character and adopt their basic attacks, so he gets something extra here. The total amount of points he's going to receive at the end of the day is 8.5 out of 10 possible points. The passive of MK11 Shang Tsung, guys, is called Doppelganger, and here it is what it does, I quote. On tagging, MK11 Shang Tsung morphs into one of his non-boss opponents for 20 seconds, allowing him to use their own special attacks and X-ray fatal blow. When below 2 bars of power, MK11 Shang Tsung passively generates power over time. Active MK11 teammates heal for 35% of their maximum health after defeating an opponent. Now, this passive is amazing, it is so much fun. The opportunities are endless. Let's talk about the first part of his passive in the beginning of this part of the video. Basically, especially if you're starting with an X-ray, if you're starting with 3 bars of power, you can tag in and choose whether to gain shield, whether to gain team debuff, whether to gain team buff. And the possibilities are endless. You can get a shield and then you can easily get to special 2 and then heal. So many things you can do. Or if you want, you can apply team fire. You get the idea. If you want, you can morph in an enemy that has regeneration on special 2. You can do special 2 regenerate, even though you already have it on special 2 of Shang Tsung. All we know, in addition to all that already said, you can copy the basic attacks and turn into one of the best fighters. Of course, you can do it only for 20 seconds, but even if this time expires, it's not really a big deal, because Shang Tsung is not a horrible fighter. And this brings me to the next part of his passive, the regeneration of power, which is awesome. You can do special 2 forever, nothing can stop you. You're generating power so fast that only one item for power generation and a block breaker can guarantee that you'll be spamming special 2 all day long. And a 35% heal is amazing in survival mode. Now, the only drawback of this passive is that it doesn't really work great against bosses, even though it is amazing in survival mode. Even if Shang Tsung is Fusion 0, against bosses this passive is not that great. It's not horrible, but simply not that great. So I'll be giving it 19.7 out of 20 possible points. And one last thing, guys, it is not clear for me whether Shang Tsung retains the damage of his basic attacks and special attacks once he morphs into another character. For instance, if his special 2 damage is supposed to be 100, let's go this way, when he is in his form, what happens if he, let's say, adopts the form of a gold character? Is it still 100? I tested multiple times, but I couldn't get to an answer, so please help me out in the comments, guys. And one last really final thing. The thing that I wanted to be implemented in Shang Tsung is that he was in a position to actually steal passives as well, but unfortunately this isn't the case, even though rumors have it that he can actually evade X-rays if he morphs into a Terminator. Please let me know in the comments whether this is the case. Alright guys, it is time to decide whether MK11 Shang Tsung is a good character, and this is a really easy question. He is awesome. Very good stats, very good special 1, amazing special 2, also he has pretty great passive, and very good basic attacks, no drawbacks. Probably the only drawback that I can think of is the fact that the damage of his special attacks isn't really that high, but that's not really a big deal. Also, I would say that he isn't that great against bosses, but in general you can use him for his special 1, you can use him for his special 2, pretty versatile, you can use him to do so many great things. If for instance you decide to make sure that he starts with an X-ray, that would be pretty cool. You can copy the buffs and debuffs of the other characters, the enemy characters, and that is always great. So I'll be giving him 3 out of my 3 subjective points. I have to admit, very fun character to play, I really like him, and with my 3 subjective points he's going to score 83.4, which basically means that he's an amazing character. On our current rankings he is 18th, just above MK11 Cabal and just below MK11 Sindel. So the final verdict for MK11 Shang Tsung is going to be amazing character. Okay guys, it is time to take a look at your final verdict. As usual, if you wanna take part of the next review, if you wanna vote for your favorite character or just for any character that is about to be reviewed, you're welcome to do so in our Discord server. All you have to do is follow the link in the description of this video and you will get into our server, which is an amazing place to be. Anyways, this time 155 of you voted, which is amazing considering the short notice I gave you for this particular review, and the average score was 9.35, or in other words 93.6. This is the final verdict that you gave to MK11 Shang Tsung. I was pretty surprised. The most common grade was 9, 65 of you voted with 9, and 1 person voted with a 1, saying that Shang Tsung is impossible to get, which is kind of the truth. He's available only in the Make It Rain pack, which is the worst pack ever released in MK Mobile, and of course you can get him as a tower reward if you are extremely lucky. However, this time we have a huge discrepancy between your final verdict and the Matrix final verdict. According to the Matrix, he scored something like 83 points, according to you he scored 93 points, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't think that Shang Tsung deserves something like 90 out of 100 or 9 out of 10. I think he's more like 8.5. Incredibly good character, however not really great against bosses, and that's his main drawback. This is the thing that makes him an imperfect character, even though he's extremely fun to play, even though he's a fan favorite. So I reckon the truth is somewhere in the middle. On your current standings, by the way, MK11 Shang Tsung is 2nd. Only MK11 Scorpion managed to score higher, and this is something incredible. So according to you, he's a perfect character. According to the Matrix, he's amazing. Once again, the truth is somewhere in the middle, in my opinion. MK11 Shang Tsung can be pretty good opener, even though he's not the best considering the fact that his special 1 has low damage, but at the same time his special 1 connects after both of his combo enders, so that's always an option. You shouldn't forget actually the fact that he generates power like crazy, so he can spam his special 1 all day long. When it comes to the characters that he counters, I reckon he's good against almost any character, considering the fact that Shang Tsung is one of the most versatile characters in the game. However, he has hard time against classic Liu Kang, because Shang Tsung relies basically on his special attacks. His basics are not really his greatest weapon, so if he's crippled he cannot do a lot. The same thing applies for Assassin Jade and Relentless Jason. Basically, it's very risky to use his special attacks. Also, classic Reptile is a counter, because Shang Tsung cannot heal. When it comes to equipment, I won't be Captain Obvious. Definitely his tower equipment is really great. Also his brutality is awesome, one of the best brutalities in the game. However, if we put tower equipment on the side, you all know how difficult it is to get. I reckon if you want to use him for his special 1, go ahead with the Devastator and Bloody Voodoo Doll. If you want to use him for his special 2, go ahead with the Rat Hammer and Soul Medallion. Actually, any accessory that makes sure that you have reduced cost for special 2, and definitely I would advise you guys to use Block Breaker on MK11 Shang Tsung. It's not absolute necessity, but definitely helps. And when it comes to the teams, MK11 Shang Tsung must be in an MK11 team. Of course, if you want, you can try to support him with 2 outward characters, such as, for instance, Daredevil Kitana, Mournful Kitana, any character that can boost his stats in a way, such as, for example, Sun God Koto Khan, but he's really great in an MK11 team, and you can do some kind of a crazy defensive MK11 team with MK11 Sub-Zero and MK11 Rain. This thing is almost unkillable. All we know, MK11 is the key word. Alright guys, MK11 Shang Tsung, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 83.4 and we label him as an amazing character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. See you next time guys, take care.
Perfect. Perfect.